President Martha Tashnik, and our state champion, 14U Knights. Come on up.
You guys want to come up with me and help me?
So Lena, come up a little bit, and then this is going to the millions of viewers that are out there. There's
Now
millions
you
of
get to be on
people
TV.
watching.
Look at the flag.
All right.
All right. Everyone knows the pledge? Yeah. All right, here we go. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Nice work. All right, so as custom, we usually like to highlight some of our special sports teams and attributes in the community. And today it's kind of close to home for me. Obviously, a lot of people know that I am involved in Livonia girls hockey as well. Right now, we have the way that the girls work. It's 8U, 10U, 12U, so it goes up by twos. So this is our 14U girls team, and I don't want to take the thunder from Coach. If Coach McMaster, if you want to come up and just give if you want to talk and just tell us like a couple wins, I'm not going to put you on the spot. But there's the Michigan Girls Hockey League, and that's kind of our league for girls. Hey, here for Mr. McMaster.
Yeah, so I'm Coach Danny McMaster. I have the honor of coaching the 14U Tier 3 girls hockey team, and this year we practiced hard, we played hard, and in the end we won the Michigan Girls Hockey League playoffs.
Yeah.
And in addition to that, the next weekend we won the state championship.
And where was the states hosted?
In Livonia.
So we brought it home. It's awesome.
So they did an awesome job.
Yes. No, it's something that is huge. Having known a lot of these people, for anybody out there, I know Councilman Donovic was on the Livonia All-Stars. We do have our tender over there, our goalie, right there.
Can't miss him.
Nope, he's a rock star. So, yes. But as we always say, Livonia is like the biggest small town in the world, and we are so proud of you girls for what you've done, especially, kind of the MJHL one weekend and then states and just going through and taking everybody down. So this is the fun part that we can do, get a fun picture, accommodation here. But really fast, everybody out there, let's give them a huge round of applause for what they've done. All right, let's get some glamour shots. Come on up, we'll get a quick picture. Unless you girls want to stay the whole meeting. Coaches, come on! Why you guys all all right.
You should get a stipend for that. Official.
All right, someone's going to have to stack the pads. Who's our goalies? No. All right, can you get up? Or should we spoon it a little bit?
You guys want to slide in this way?
Get down. Yeah, get the front.
What do we do? Nights on three?
Nights on three.
Nights on three?
Yeah. 1, 2, 3.
One more time.
Nights on three. 1, 2, 3. Nice.
Oh, Mr. Morgan locked up. Yes, Brown. You guys are more than welcome to stay, but now comes the fun of the city. Right. So if you want to not stay the whole time, you don't have to. But if you want to, if not, you can hang around. I always usually let people have a fun time to say, hey, thanks. See you guys, girls. Hey, Carly.
Thank you, everybody.
Maddie, what's up? The sport's growing so much for girls. It's so cool.
Coach Daniel.
Man, I thought we had like a packed audience too. Bates messaged me last night. All right, I go, Sarah, can you help me?
It's just for men. It's hair color just for men.
All right. That's so cool.
No, I didn't. Oh, I didn't. No, they said to say it, so.
All right. Well, now for the okay part of the meeting. Welcome to the 2013 regular meeting of Livonia City Council. This is a voting meeting. Minutes of this meeting will be approved at the next regular meeting scheduled to take place on April 14th. Madam Clerk, would you please take the roll?
Vice President Tashnik.
Here.
Councilmember Budzinski.
Here.
Councilmember Shield.
Here.
Councilmember Morgan.
Here.
Councilmember Donovan.
Here.
And President McCullough.
Here. And so we show 6 members of council. Councilman Toy could not make it with us today. I will now look to entertain a motion for the minutes from the regular meeting of the City Council held on March 10th, 2025. Council?
So moved.
Ooh.
I'll support.
Okay. Vice President, support with Councilman Shield. Any comments from the audience on the minutes? Just on the minutes, or is it on an item on the agenda? Okay. No comments from the minutes. Madam Clerk, will you please take the vote?
Vice President Tashnik.
Aye.
Councilmember Budzinski.
Aye.
Councilmember Shield.
Aye.
Councilmember Morgan.
Aye.
Councilmember Donovan.
Aye.
President McCullough.
Aye. And the minutes carry 6-0. Jumping right into audience communication, this is the council has set aside 30 minutes for items that are not presently on the agenda. If you'd like to speak, make your way to either podium, name and address, and you have 3 minutes. Good evening.
Well, hello there. I'm Freya Jacoby. I live at 20341 Parker Street. Bought my house about a year and a half ago for the yard. And now I have a neighbor who's building a pigeon loft, and he plans on moving 80 pigeons into it. So I would like to appeal to the council to put an ordinance in place to regulate this hobby. It's allowed in Michigan. You can't prohibit it, but you can regulate it as a municipality, and that's what I would like to see done. A lot of municipalities in the area do that. Dearborn Heights allows a limit of 15. I could live with 15 pigeons. I'm going to have a hard time living with 80. And I don't want to infringe on his right to have this hobby, but I don't want him to infringe on my right to be able to relax and enjoy my yard and garden.
No, so it's a pigeon.
And I will help you write the ordinance if you need any help.
So have you
They're
contacted...
racing pigeons, so they're above your domestic street pigeons.
Okay.
So they're not considered foul, so they don't fall under the livestock and farming rules.
Learn something new every day.
Oh, I've learned a lot this week. And this is a residentially zoned area. It's not rural at all. And
No.
I think 80 is excessive for a residential area.
I appreciate you bringing that forward. I'm sure council, we're all taking notes right now. If you want, I don't know if there's any business cards on that
Yeah.
one. Grab that. That's going to get us to our office manager. That's Sarah.
Okay.
Just send her a note so we can get your contact information outside of the meeting, and
Okay.
we'll stay in communications and learn more about ordinances and regulations on pigeons.
Yeah, I've learned a lot, trust me.
But no, thanks for coming out.
Thank you.
Good evening.
Is this 3 minutes?
3 minutes, man.
Steve King, Coventry Gardens. Yeah, I attended that study meeting, I don't know, a couple weeks ago. I don't think that was televised, was it? The one with City Center?
No,
Yeah.
it was not.
Yeah, and it was packed, it was really, really packed. This place was full of people that wanted to speak, and the meeting was like over 3 hours long. So I'm used to filibusters in Washington, but not in Livonia. So what I'm hoping is that you will have a special meeting on just that subject that's open to the public. And I'll even see if I can get the woman from Southfield to show up. And we'll fill the auditorium and give people actually an opportunity to ask some questions. During that meeting, it wasn't televised so people didn't see, but a question was directed at the packed audience. How many of you were on Vision 21 steering committee? Not one hand went up. And I think that speaks volume. What's going on with that whole plan is there's people inside the bubble, they know what's going on, and there's people outside the bubble, and they have no clue what's about to happen. And my general takeaway from the meeting was We had Plant Moran, they're all sitting up here. So the city hired Plant Moran Real Point, which is a real estate consultant. They don't build anything, they don't construct things, they're a consultant. And so you hired them and you paid them to look at all our buildings, and they came back and said, wow, you have a lot of old municipal buildings in disrepair. You actually paid them to tell you this. And then they say, but by the way, if you hire us, which you did, we can then oversee building all these new buildings. And I don't know, I kind of have a problem with that, with their telling you all the buildings are bad on one end and to say, hey, we'll build all new buildings on this end. But that's for the next meeting. I hope you have that special meeting. I have more to say. I attended Farmington Hills City Council meeting. Fantastic. It was about the deer problem. They did exactly what we should have done. They brought in the DNR. They had students, master students from University of Michigan. They did a brilliant presentation. It was standing room only. And they're going to actually do something about their deer problem. We've been talking about it for 10 years, and I hope they're going to include West Bloomfield and Southfield, and we need to jump on that bandwagon. One last thing, dead, dangerous, and dying trees. You see what's going on all over the state with the storms, trees falling everywhere. I talked to a guy who does work for the city, and he says we have more dead, dying, and dangerous trees than any city in Wayne County. And we need to quadruple our budget for tree removal. We're going to go into some really bad weather season, and drive up and down any one of the main roads. There's about 40 trees that really need to be trimmed back or come down. All right, thanks.
Thanks, Mr. King. Anybody else? Hello.
Good evening. Ralph Brown from Gulfview Street in Livonia. I think you're all doing a great job. I'm just here today in support of the library. Robert and Janet, library, you see those buckets when you walk in? I know you're going through renovations. I know there's a lot of problems. But I would just hate to see that library close or something happen to it. There's so many seniors that use it, so many kids. There's music programs, there's lectures. There's even a seed program if any Livonia resident wants to go up there and get seeds to plant. I just think the library is underrated. And I'm just here to support the library and hope you can keep it open.
Oh, absolutely.
Keep it going. You guys that library is great. You're doing a great job. Let's keep it going.
Absolutely. Thank you, sir. I appreciate
Thank
that. You. Good evening, Mr. Martin. How are you?
Super duper. Christopher Martin, resident of the great state of Michigan. And touch on the library a little bit here. The orange cone has finally disappeared over there. Okay, this was the trip and fall that was there for over a year. And I'd asked 4 times in the course of that year. It was a 10-minute job. It finally disappeared. It was finally ground down. That was it. But boy, it doesn't put, I don't have much faith if it took a year for that to have anything, seriously, done correctly with the removal of some of these buildings in that discussion. I was here along with Steve. He mentioned on the different name for it now. I still refer to it as a Downtown Livonia project. And that was one of the most poorly run meetings that I've ever attended. And I've attended a lot of meetings. Went on for way too long. And it was like being forced to watch a Steven Seagal movie or something. It was really that bad. And I really felt that it should have been a presentation that was put on where viewers could watch it at home, and then we would have another meeting where you could come in and then discuss what you had just saw from the previous week or whatever. That's the way it should have been done. But to subject people to sit there through that thing was just pretty bad. So that's about it. I got some comments later on to make on some other items on the agenda, though. But thanks for your time.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Martin. Anybody else for audience communication? Come on up. Name and address, and 3 minutes.
It's my first time.
No, you'll do just fine.
My name's Robert Van Orden, 9865 Laurel Street, here in the beautiful city of Livonia. Some of you people know me. I'm a DPW employee. I'm building maintenance. I'm here fixing this beautiful building and the library and other fire stations throughout our city. So I'm here for our library, okay? And like this fine gentleman said, you know, it's beautiful, and the atrium it's beautiful. It's art, okay, and I love it. And my family, we use it, but it has been leaking, and so I know of another Livonia resident businessman who does the maintenance on the atrium, the glass atrium at Southland Mall down on Eureka Road in Taylor, and with a simple process of maintenance of cleaning the glass, and then he polishes it with a commercial grade Rain-X. Snow doesn't even stick to it, if you notice, and then he's able to seal this glass atrium for a fraction of the price of what it would take to tear that all down and build a metal roof and take away from the art from being able to just to look up and see it. For pennies on a dollar, he could do a maintenance service program and guarantee for 3 solid years that this will not leak on the floor, on anybody's head. It would not leak, not down the walls. He will offer this guarantee, and then he will do a simple maintenance program every spring where he cleans, polishes the glass, and services it. And this is why the atrium in Taylor at the Southland Mall does not leak. It's just maintenance. And so I've brought him to the library. We've looked in exclusively in many different ways. And the reason why the glass at the atrium is leaking now on people's heads just this weekend is that, there's no maintenance. And this gentleman, he has the apparatus, he has the insurance policies, he has the safety equipment, he has everything to do this job in this type of job. He does work at the downtown Detroit at the GM Towers. He hangs at 30, so he has the equipment, the apparatus, and the ability to stop this from leaking. And if you guys are interested, I would like, and he's a Livonia resident, and he likes, and this is a way of saving some taxpayer money, because it's a fraction of what it's going to cost to replace it. So that's what I'm trying.
I appreciate it. And yes, after this, I'd love to get that number and stuff and forward it at least down into the administration. I know you're part of that, but I know exactly probably the same person that you're speaking of, because when I worked in the city of Novi, we had those sloped glazed glass.
Right.
And there's an internal drainage system that was the bane of my existence, because they covered up all the weep holes, didn't allow it to do it, and it would fill up and then leak.
Right. And that's, so as I had talked to some management,
you know what that is?
at
That is
DPW.
time. But what I'll do is just stick around. Maybe between the meetings, we'll grab the number and get it over to the right people. I appreciate that.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mine too.
You guys did both. You both did great.
You guys are doing good. You keep it up. Just keep that library going.
Good evening, ma'am. How are you?
My name is Ellen Dorman, 17211 Mayfield, Livonia. And I have been a resident since I was 2 years old, which was 1942. Very familiar with Livonia. Both my parents worked for the city. My dad was, I will say, policeman, because that's the way I was brought up. Cop was not good back in my day. And my mother worked in the building department. So I'm quite familiar. I'm back in the house that I grew up in. I was only gone for a while. I have 2 concerns. One is a very safety concern. At Mayfield and 6 Mile, I am suggesting strongly that there be no parking on either side, like from the white picket fence to 6 Mile. Reason being is it's very dangerous. There's some residents, you can't see when you pull out, you can't see when you come in, and there's a couple of residents that have almost hit. And I would like that. I don't know, I've talked with the police department, but it has to come here. So that is the one.
Before, if I may, and I know the time stopped, so that would go directly through the traffic commission on that. So we have a traffic commission that, there's a traffic commission in the city. I actually had to submit a request to put a yield sign at the end of my cul-de-sac. There's a meeting. If you take one of the cards right there and contact Sarah tomorrow, we can probably get you the information. That way you could get to the traffic commission.
Okay.
And then you would add that. She'll help you get for item number 1. What do you got for item number 2?
Okay. Item number 2. There should be one for everybody. I hope I counted right. This is concerning homes, not our residential homes, but the homes for the elderly. And it has nothing to do with the elderly at all. That's not the problem. The problem is within about 5,000 feet of my home, I have 1, 2, 3 already up and working, and 2 more to go. And what happened to residential? That is a full-blown business. They get $5,000 to $6,000 a head per month. And that's not me thinking, that's me having checked. And I do know that. And like I said, what happened to residential? Those are businesses. And you'll see from what I handed out that we have previously been to the state. The state has rules. And our representative, which of course I'm not good on, sent right back to here.
All right, so ma'am, that is time. With this, if you could, when you call Sarah tomorrow, our office manager, please give your contact information. And all council has these packets. We'd be happy to review them and do some studying up and get back to you with some updates.
I hope so. And I hope there's a stop to it, because within 5,000 feet of my home, I now have 3, 4, and there's 2 more.
For sure.
To
No,
go in.
we'll definitely make sure you grab a card, contact. We'll get your information. Be happy to kind of, not more in the public setting, but we'll study it further and see if we can get you some
I hope that
answers.
it'll be fast, because we have tried this before.
I hear you, and I appreciate you.
So,
Have a good night. Any other audience communications? Seeing none, I'm going to move on to council communications. I'm going to start off just really fast by letting everybody know that we do have new data on items 10 and 11, and for that, I'll open it up to council. Vice President?
Thank you. So, a couple things, just to respond a little bit to the deer issue. I attended the Deer Coalition meeting about a week and a half ago, and just FYI, the DNR is fully booked for 2026. There were various representatives from Livonia there. We are going to watch our neighbors with a lot of curiosity to the north, Farmington Hills, Southfield, and see how that goes. But we are on it, and we are active participants in the coalition. Next, I want to address the capital outlay meeting. We have our next one this Wednesday at 7 o'clock. These are committee meetings, not necessarily public hearings. Of course, the public are always welcome, and they're meant to be informative, and we welcome the public to be there. But they're mainly to inform council and the public that wants to attend, but they're not public hearings per se. They're more for information. So I just don't want there to be a confusion. There's no intent to make them run long or filibuster. They're to provide information for us, because we need the information to be able to make these decisions. And like I said, while not technically a public hearing, of course, public is always welcome, and they're welcome to have their comment time, but they are meant to be informative. And sometimes, unfortunately, they do run a little lengthy. But our next one is this Wednesday at 7 o'clock right here, and we'll continue on with the conversations from the last one. Thank you.
Councilwoman Budzinski, and then I'll go to Councilman Donovic.
Yes. So just a couple of things. One, I wanted to let residents know that the city is in the process of updating its master plan as it relates to middle housing. There's been a series of administrative level meetings on this topic, and there will be a master plan housing open house held at the Civic Center Library on Wednesday, April 23rd from 4 to 7 for people to provide feedback and hear from McKinney, who's helping with this survey. You can take this survey online as well. Unfortunately, it's a QR code on my flyer, but it is on the city's website. There is a website landing page for those who are interested in participating, and I'll share it on my personal or on my city council page as well for anyone who is looking for it and can't find it easily on the city website. Additionally, for more conversations about what's happening on the city, I host my next coffee hour on April 26th, Saturday at 11 a.m. at the Civic Center Library. My guest for this next month will be Mayor Brosnan to talk about things that are happening here in Livonia. I give a council update at all my coffee hours. Sometimes I have a guest. Again, I do in this case, and then we both will take questions and provide answers. Finally, I just wanted to bring up the fact I have a lot of residents who talk to me about the state of Plymouth Road, particularly between Inkster and let's say Levan, high level of vacancy. A resident recently sent me about 20 addresses of commercial properties along that street that have not been well maintained or that are vacant. I sent those on to our inspection department and got a really detailed response about all the work that our inspection department is doing just in this area alone. I think it'll be really important to continue to have a conversation on this topic and would like to move the subject of blight and commercial vacancy on Plymouth Road to the Economic Development Strategic Planning Committee.
Support.
Thank you. And so, thank you for your support. I am the chair of that. So later this spring, I will schedule a meeting, provide invitations to residents in that area specifically, but anyone in the community who wants to come so that we can kind of start taking a look at what's going on at Plymouth Road and what the city has been doing to address it, but what we can do in the future to kind of help spur development in that area. So thank you.
Awesome. So we do have a motion on the table for that. Council, is there any discussion? Anything from the audience? Mr. Fisher, are you good with the language that Councilwoman Budzinski put forth, just to make sure we have that wrapped?
I have it as the topic of blighted and vacant businesses on Plymouth Road.
Perfect. Madam Clerk, will you please take the vote?
Vice President Tashnik?
Aye.
Councilmember Budzinski?
Aye.
Councilmember Shield?
Aye.
Councilmember Morgan?
Aye.
Councilmember Donovic?
Aye.
President McCullough?
Aye. And the motion carries 6-0. With that being said, I'm going to move on to Councilman Donovic.
Thank you, Mr. President. I appreciate it. Thank you to our Council Vice President for bringing up the Capital Outlay and Infrastructure Committee, which I chair. We've had roughly 15 meetings or so. I've lost track. All these meetings are always open to the public, and if you attend council meetings, you constantly hear me talk about them and encouraging resident participation. So our next one will be April 2nd, and that will be at 7 p.m. here in the City Council chambers. And then for future kind of planning, our next council meeting will be April 14th and April 28th. And I anticipate that that item will continue through council. So if you want to participate and continue to follow along, we'd love to have you to do that. Then those meetings are in the auditorium right now. And just to kind of reiterate, City Council, we're very fortunate in how we do things. A lot of city councils don't have the format that we do. We have a study meeting and a regular meeting. Regular meeting, we take votes that we actually do something. The study meeting, we study topics. But then we have breakout committees. And those committees are supposed to be a little bit less formal, and they're informational. So yes, they go long. They should go long because there's a ton of information that is shared on particular topics. So to say otherwise means you must not be paying attention. These meetings are meant to go long. because there's so much information that us as council are taking in from the administration and our vendors. So I'm happy that we have this structure, and it's always open to the public. It's open, and we want people to attend those meetings and participate in those meetings and hear all the information we hear. Because reading through these packets, there can be hundreds of pages in a packet that we'll read through, and you're just not getting the same context out of it as you are talking to the vendors and hearing from them and the administration. So just for the last time, I hope that people can participate in those meetings and attend. And that will be April 2nd, 7 p.m. here in the auditorium. And then the next two meetings, which will be actual council meetings, that'll be the 14th and the 28th. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Anything else from council? I have one date that I want everybody to mark down, so I'm going off the crazy interweb, but our Clarenceville Education Foundation has a yearly reverse raffle. And if you haven't been to it, it's an awesome time. Raises great funds for our friends at Clarenceville. That's going to take place on May 2nd, and everything is on Zeffy.com if you were to look up Clarenceville Education Foundation. Again, that's Friday, May 2nd from 5:30 to 9. And right now, the tickets, this isn't like a used car salesman ploy. They are down to, I think, the last 50. So if you want to go, make sure you get your tickets because it supports a great cause, and it's an even better time, I promise. With that being said, I'm going to move on to our reports from the mayor and other city officials. With that, we do have communication from the Department of Finance dated from February 27, 2025, forwarding quarterly investment report for the city of Livonia for the quarter ending in November 2024. These are received in files. And with that, I'm going to move on to the consent agenda items 1 through 6 that will be voted for on as one item. These items were previously discussed at the study meeting that took place on March 10th and determined to be non-controversial. Council, do I have support?
So moved.
Support.
So I have motion made by Councilman Donovic, support by Councilman Morgan. Any questions, comments by council? Seeing none, I'm going to go to the audience. Mr. Martin, you have 2 minutes.
Yes, I'll be brief. Christopher Martin. I have a problem with number 2. This is the reappointment of Mr. McCann to the Board of Ethics. And this goes back to 2008. And this is the annexation of the Northville Township property. And the mayor at the time, Mr. Kirksey, along with many others, Mr. McCann being one of them, many other council members and different individuals that, that were employed by the city, were in favor of that. And it was basically to take 414 acres from Northville Township and make that a part of Livonia. It was a big money grab. And it was really, I felt, pretty sleazy, okay? Really sleazy. But, and also many of the people that were involved in that claimed to be religious. Okay, now there's nothing, I'm not a religious person any longer myself, was at one time. But it's just, there's like a word, integrity that's involved, okay? And I just don't think that guy has it, to be quite honest. And many of these people, they just, over money, they lost their moral compass. That's what actually happened. And money does strange things to people, but that was nothing but a land grab. It was disgusting, and the citizens of Livonia voted it down. So they weren't fooled by some of the city officials at the time. But I just don't think that Mr. McCann is someone, in my opinion at least, to be on a board of ethics, okay? Because...
it's time, Mr. Martin. Appreciate it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments from the audience? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, will you please take the vote?
Vice President Tashnik?
Aye.
Councilmember Budzinski?
Aye.
Councilmember Shield?
Aye.
Councilmember Morgan?
Aye.
Councilmember Donovic?
Aye.
President McCullough?
Aye. And the consent agenda carries 6-0. I'm going to move now on to unfinished business. Councilwoman Budzinski, are you good to do the report out? Appreciate that. We're going to unfinished business. This is the meetings of the committees. Under item number 7 is the Senior Citizens, Families, and Environment Committee. That meeting that took place on March 3rd with the subject matter of transportation issues for seniors, families, and other community residents. B was subject matter of Parks and Rec offering classes to children with challenges. And C was the subject matter of the senior citizen needs and construction of the new Newburgh senior housing. Councilwoman Budzinski, the floor is yours.
Yes, thank you. Chairwoman Laura Toy was present at that meeting, as was myself. We were committee members. Also present, council members Rob Donovic, Linda Shield, Carter Fisher, our city attorney, Rob Drzwicki, Director of Government Affairs, Madison Birchness, Housing Director, Jim Ingalls, Housing Consultant, Ted Davis, Superintendent of Park and Recs, Nancy Bozen, Community Transit, and Dennis McKenzie of Community Transit as well. The meeting started at 7:03. For the first topic, as noted, was on transportation issues for seniors, families, and other community residents. A presentation was provided from Live and Go manager, Mr. McKinney, on the status of Live and Go, Livonia's transit program. There's currently an office manager, 2 dispatchers, 17 drivers, and 19 vehicles, although some have maintenance needs. An overview of Live and Go services, along with the transition to via app, so a digital app for folks who want to reserve rides through their phone. They can do that. They can continue to call the office if that is their preferred method of booking their rides. Jacob Uhazi of our Planning Administration Department presented a mobility study that was recently done, offering a roadmap for phased transit here in Livonia. Step 1 had on that plan was transitioning to the VIA app. Steps or parts 2 are experimenting with microtransit on Plymouth Road, followed by citywide microtransit like Farmington Hills. 4 is a deviated fixed route, and then 5 is a regional fixed route. There are no active plans for this, implementing the rest of this right now, due to we need to right size and invest in the current services that we're offering. This study was also done prior to changes that opened Livonia up to a regional transit program through a Wayne County millage. This is expected to be a future ballot initiative that would cost Livonia about $5 to $5.5 million annually. The administration has been told it will receive a seat at the table when Wayne County goes through this process. It has also reached out to Wayne County Executive Office and the Regional Transit Authority to demonstrate transit lessons and successes in Livonia through the Live and Go program. The administration hopes to demonstrate that transit, including bike and walkability, would be future needs for funding if a millage goes through. Livonia would like to see funds used to further bike walk Livonia plans that have been in place and provide investment for the capital needs of Live and Go services that we currently already have here in Livonia. This item will remain in committee. Then the next item, subject matter of Parks and Recreation offering classic children with challenges. Parks and Recreation Director Ted Davis spoke on this. Parks currently offers 3 to 4 social events per season through Livonia Air and has a partnership with Canton through Wayne County for a program called RISE that offers physical education classes. The rec center is used as a pickup site for the Living and Learning Center in Northville, and the new senior center will have a partnership with My Works Matters to operate a coffee shop. That after the tour that I did of the new construction, I learned that space would also be open to rec center individuals who are using the building as well. These programs are costly, and the Parks and Recreation Department is at capacity for these services at this time, but continues to make park improvements to help expand the accommodations for all those in need. This item will also remain in committee. Finally, the matter of senior citizen needs and construction of the new Newburgh Senior Center. Housing Director Madison Birchness gave an introduction. Newburgh Village 2, which would be called something else, named to be determined, is a 9.5-acre site just south of current Newburgh Village. Will offer 2-bedroom ranch-style units. The project is in its early stages. And looking to work with the fire department to kind of meet some needs of what the abutting fire station has. Vacant space they don't need, but they have some needs where the Housing Commission is hoping to work with them so that it's in the best interest of both parties. The new property will operate the same as Silver Village and Newburgh Village, meaning that it is self-funding and not a liability to the city. This item also remains in committee, and the committee adjourned at 8:58 p.m. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Councilwoman Budzinski. A lot of fun stuff at that meeting, it sounds like. Yes.
Thank you, Mr. President. I just wanted to say great job to the chairman of that committee, Councilwoman Toy, and their vice chair, Councilwoman Budzinski. There was a lot of information shared at that meeting. And Councilwoman Budzinski, while giving her readout, mentioned a potential millage that will be coming before the city and all of Wayne County next year. So to go back in history just briefly, the city used to have smart bus system or mass transit in the city. The voters voted to opt out of that in the early 2000s, and I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was a considerable amount of money of savings. It was millions of dollars a year that the residents were no longer paying for a transit system they were never using. And we all have seen, if you live on the east side of Livonia, the bus route is allowed to go from Plymouth Road to Middlebelt up to Schoolcraft to Middlebelt, and then it turns back around. And there's not a day that goes by you won't see an empty bus or bus stops full of trash, overflowing with trash. If you live next to the bus stops, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So long story short, the state law allowed communities to individually opt out. However, recently the state legislature changed the law, and now individual communities can no longer opt out. So there are 17 communities in Wayne County that have determined to opt out by the residents, and the state law has shifted the goalposts and will not allow us to do that anymore. So what will happen is next year, the county will go out for a mass vote, and that will be a millage, and the likelihood of them passing a ballot initiative across the county is much more feasible than it is to pass with individual communities. Just a numbers game at that point. So with that being said, expect to see language that comes before you sometime next year or in the next year and a half or so. And that was going to be a millage request saying, give us money for X, and we're going to give you a transit system. So I just want to make sure everyone here, since we've got some people in the audience, and put on the record that that is going to happen. It is going to cost the city taxpayers, all of us, many millions of dollars for a transit system that, quite frankly, we're not going to use. But that's just my opinion as one member. Thank you, Mr. President.
Yeah, thank you, Councilman Donovic. Anything else from council? Anything from the audience? Name and address. You got 2 minutes, Mr. King.
Yeah, I attended that meeting, and I think I was the only citizen there. I asked a lot of questions. I think that's why the meeting went so long. I asked so many questions. This was on one of the social media sites. Not my words, but Ms. Smith. The new bus system is terrible. My parents are seniors and use the senior bus, and now the service has been revamped. But not in a good way. They've been left stranded at doctor's offices, as well as being picked up over an hour late for the appointment. They were told, oh, well, this is not the way to treat seniors. So, a couple things I noticed at that meeting. You get reports from these people in charge, but what is lacking, what is seriously lacking in everything you guys are doing is hearing from the people that are most affected directly by transportation, by senior center. I was at the senior center when Ted was there, and all the seniors are saying, the chairs you're putting over there at the new senior center, they don't work for us. And they go, oh, well, you need a steering committee of people that use the services and find out what they want. Same with Newburgh Village. They've not, where are the seniors, where are the committee of 12 seniors saying what works for them in their building and what doesn't? And, concerned citizens like myself. As far as Parks and Rec goes, go over to Rotary Park. The play structure, the surface is so bad and so tore up. And the way to fix it is not little patches, but large circular patches of different colors that will make it look nice. I just get frustrated because the solutions are all out there. Martha, you don't need to wait for DNR. That whole program is online. You can go and see what they did and jump on board. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. King. Any other audience communication? Seeing none, we are going to jump into the rest of unfinished business. Starting with item number 8 is a proposed amendment to the Livonia Code of Ordinances. As amended, it comes to us from the Department of Law to amend sections 007 and 010 of Title 5, Chapter 42 in order to simplify language. Council. Just need a motion for sake of this.
Support.
I got Councilman Donovic as motion maker, support by Vice President. Council, do you have any remarks on this? I know we spoke about it at the study. Seeing none, I'm going to go to the audience. Any comments on item number 8? Seeing none. Oh, actually, this one's a first read.
First read. Mr. President, I'd like to offer a first read.
Thank you, Mr. Councilman Donovic. We have a first read. That being said, I'm going to move on to item number 9 is a request for council approval on a proposed lot split. This comes to us from the Department of Assessment in reference to the property located north of 7 Mile and east of Farmington. Addresses are as follows: 19303, 19307, 19311, 19315, 19319 Shady Side. This is to waive the lot width requirement for proposed parcels A, B, and C. Council.
Motion to approve.
Support.
Go with Councilman Budzinski on the motion, Councilwoman Shield on the support. Council, is there any discussion? Seeing none, anything from the audience? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, will you please take the vote?
Vice President Tashnik.
Aye.
Councilmember Budzinski.
Aye.
Councilmember Shield.
Aye.
Councilmember Morgan.
Aye.
Councilmember Donovic.
Aye.
President McCullough.
Aye. And this item did require supermajority, and it obtained that, so the item is approved. Moving on to item number 10 is a request to approve the Livonia Fighter Fires Union Collective Bargaining Agreement. Comes to us from the Civil Service Department. This is from the period of December 1st, 2024 through November 30th, 2027. Vice President.
I'd like to offer a motion to approve.
Support.
Councilman Budzinski for the support. I can go jump back to council. I'm going to give the floor over to a lot of the people in the trenches that made this all happen. Ms. Leibel, give us a little quick overview on this.
Good evening. I'm Janine Leibel on behalf of the Civil Service Department. We worked hand in hand with our firefighters to determine what did our department need, and they said they were seeing issues with recruiting. So we really looked to address that issue. We made sure that we had a generous yet fiscally responsible package. We want to be a destination employer, so in a lot of ways, our package is not just competitive, but it is also superior to some of the compensation packages in our surrounding communities and our municipal comparables. Over 3 years, our firefighters will see approximately 20% increase in wages. That's just to keep us competitive out there in the market. It is very difficult to find paramedics who then we can transition into firefighters. But we developed a program in order to do that as well. We have a new program where we are able to recruit people who are not yet a paramedic, but put them through a program so that way our EMTs can then become paramedics and then take the next step to become firefighters. So that way we can look at a broader base of candidates. We eliminated wage tiers, so that means that when a new firefighter comes, well, if you have a situation where someone was hired on November 30th and another person was hired on December 1st, in past contracts there's been a wage discrepancy. We brought that in line and kept that consistent. We also have a promotion bonus. When our firefighters look to take a step ahead in their career, they do a wealth of preparation. It's not just a matter of being on duty for a certain number of years. Now they're taking another step. They're presenting themselves in a very comprehensive assessment center, and it goes a long way towards developing them as individuals and as well as employees. It continues to develop our leadership. We included another holiday, which was the Martin Luther King Jr. Day, that's consistent with our ASME and our police bargaining unit agreements. Our firefighters agreed to allow us to remove the Blue Cross Blue Shield language from our contract. That way it keeps us, it gives a reason for our health insurance providers to sharpen their pencil when they come to the table because they don't have a corner on that market. We got a workers' compensation supplement that is consistent with our other bargaining units. And then we just did a lot of administrative cleanup items, but I really want to go back and say that since our focus was looking at recruiting and, we have good retention, but we wanted to make sure we could bring new people here, we also looked at something called the Medical Expense Reimbursement Plan that is offered by the International Firefighters Union, and through that, they will have a focused retirement, not a retirement plan, a medical plan for their retirement, which they were very excited about. I think that this is a contract that our firefighters were excited about. 80% of them voted to pass it. I think our union presidents our union representatives worked really hard to make sure that they were advocating for their people. They did make it a tough, they didn't come easy, and that is a good challenge. It was a challenge, but it's a good challenge. It, allows everyone to, the rising tide lifts all ships, and I think that they worked hard for it. So I'd like to tip my hat to them and say that although they really kept me on my toes, it was a good battle to go through. I think we did a great job in advancing our firefighters, our first responders, and keeping Livonia as a great destination employer.
Absolutely. I'll hand it over to the Vice President, then I got Councilman Donovic, and we'll go from there.
Thank you, Mr. President. I did notice that Director Leibel was wearing her red to present the LFD contract tonight, so I don't know if that was a coincidence. I think not. But I did want to thank you for getting this done. We really need to honor our heroes that serve us on the LFD, and I think that, yes, I know they pushed you hard, and I know that we came to a great contract, one of the best contracts probably that they've ever had, but also for the city as well. And I think it's a win-win, and I'm really proud of everyone and the work that they did to get this done. And I think it does make Livonia a destination department, and that's what we want, because public safety is very important to our residents, and I'm glad you guys were able to get this done. So I appreciate that, and I thank you for all your work, and thank you.
Councilman Donovic.
Thank you, Mr. President. Great job, Mrs. Janine, Ms. Leibel, and then to Mr. Harity, our union president. As a city councilman, I think the two most important jobs we have is one, the budget and making sure we're being fiscally responsible, and two is safety. When criminals come here, I want our cops to arrest them and make sure they never come back. And when, God forbid, our homes catch on fire, I want to make sure our firefighters are there within minutes. And I think we do a really good job of both. And I want to make sure we pay our firefighters, pay our policemen what they deserve. And it's that balance, trying to be fiscally responsible, but also making sure we're retaining good employees and being competitive with the market. It's not easy. Not a lot of people want to be cops anymore. They don't want to be firefighters anymore. It's a tough trade. And we're trying to keep property taxes low while also providing adequate benefits and wages to our first responders. And as like the Vice President said, they are our heroes. And I take that as my biggest job. So I wanted to talk about this. This is always a big thing, contract negotiations, collective bargaining every few years it happens. And great job to you and the firefighters union. We'll see you with the police union negotiations here. Well, I don't think I will actually. I'll be off council, but looking forward to that. And thank you guys for making sure we compensate them. Thank you.
Thank you. Anything else from council? Seeing none, I'm going to go to the audience before we take the vote. Seeing
Mr.
none.
President, if I may.
Yes.
I just wanted to, once again, thank you all for your support in this, but I wanted to thank the mayor and our administration and our firefighters, as well as the firefighters' leadership. They really came here and worked really, really tough on it. My team at Civil Service did the same. I'm
Absolutely.
proud of everyone involved.
We know that there was a ton of work that went into it, and just by the remarks by the Vice President, Councilman Donovic, we have a great team, we have a great public safety, and I'm happy that we're potentially providing them the tools to be the destination as we should. So I'll go now back to the audience. Ma'am, if it's on the item, you can make your way to the podium, but it's got to be on this particular item for 2 minutes.
So you want me up
You have to. I'm sorry, ma'am. I'm sorry, but yeah, no, I remember when I did that, they were yelling at me, like, get him up
You
here.
got a long ways to go. Ellen Dorman, 17211 Mayfield, Livonia, Michigan. And just a comment on, of course, my dad used to be a policeman. And I saw on the news tonight, Channel 7, about our fire department needing some, they don't have facilities for the women. Because the facilities are so old, they didn't have women back then. So we definitely need it.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you so much. Hello, sir.
Hello again, the second time. I just also wanted to thank the police and firemen. And like Councilman Donovic said, I really appreciate those police officers that risked their life and made national TV chasing down them thieves. They don't get enough recognition. And like she said, the police and the fire department, they risk their lives every day. So I had to come up and say that.
No, we all appreciate.
Thank you. Thanks to the police and fire.
We are so blessed to have the best public safety around, hands down. Any other audience communication? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, will you please take the vote?
Vice President Tashnik?
Aye.
Councilmember Budzinski?
Aye.
Councilmember Shield?
Aye.
Councilmember Morgan?
Aye.
Councilmember Donovic?
Aye.
President McCullough?
Aye. And a very happy unanimous 6-0. Congratulations. With that being said, we're going to move on to item number 11 is a request to approve salary and fringe benefit adjustments for the classification of fire chief and deputy chief. This comes to us again from the Civil Service Department for the period from December 1st, 2024 through November 30th, 2027. And this is more of obviously a follow-up from item number 10. If you just want to hit it from a high level, that'd be great.
Sure. Again, Janine Leibel on behalf of Civil
A
Service.
motion to approve.
Yes.
Motion to approve.
Support.
You can pick the supporter on that one. It might be the vice president. Thank you, Councilman Shield. The floor is yours.
So typically, we extend the same benefits to our chief and deputy chief who are no longer a member of the bargaining unit. They came through, they worked their way up through the career ladder, and for them to step outside of the bargaining unit to be our leaders, we didn't want them to miss out on the benefits that their membership in the bargaining unit would otherwise have been. So we extend it to our, we extend it to our leadership of those first responder departments as well.
Absolutely. Council, any comments? Floor is yours.
Mr. President, so we're not giving the fire chief a pay cut?
We would never.
I'm just joking.
No. Anything else from council? I'm going to go to the audience. Mr. Martin.
Thank you. Yeah, what I'm reading here is a fringe benefit adjustment for the fire chief and the deputy. So is that something above and beyond what the regular rank and file would get? Is that, what this means? I don't know what it means.
All that information is kind of in that packet with what was discussed and negotiated.
Okay, let me.
No, this is your time, Mr. Martin.
Okay. Well, I'd like the question then to be sent over to the other podium and maybe, what are the fringe benefits for the chief and the fire chief? Is that fringe means it's something to me above and beyond what the regular guys would get? I could be wrong. I don't know. I didn't write this. I'm just reading. That's what I'm reading. So that's my question.
Thank you, Mr. Martin.
Okay.
It's okay, I can answer
If you can answer it, feel free. If not,
the fire chief and the deputy chief get the same benefits as the bargaining unit members do. It's just that in order to keep them at a competitive rate, their wages and all of the benefits that are included for their rank and file are extended to them as well.
thank you. Anything else from the audience? With that, Madam Clerk, will you please take the vote?
Vice President Tashnik?
Aye.
Councilmember Budzinski?
Aye.
Councilmember Shield?
Aye.
Councilmember Morgan?
Aye.
Councilmember Donovic?
Aye.
President McCullough?
Aye. And the item carries 6-0. With that, that concludes our agenda for this meeting. I'm going to jump back to the audience for communication that is not on the agenda. If you've already spoke, then you can wait for the next meeting. I don't see anybody.
Motion to adjourn?
Support.
I think that's full. I think we can safely show 6. It's 8 o'clock now. We're going to redo the study at 8:10.